Time for that conversation for lessons from the entrepreneur with Mr. Nixon Yebei, the CEO of Peak Insights, where we discuss matters to do with entrepreneurs, business people, business owners, and people who are dreaming of scaling it high. Welcome, Mr. Yebei, for this conversation.
Asante sana, Melissa.
Okay, so this is us thinking of scaling our businesses for that successful business story that we want to have. But where do we start this conversation? Where we're thinking strategy. Do we start at the beginning when I have this business idea, or it is something that I need to develop as I go along? Mm-hmm. For you as a trainer, where do you feel the strategy in a business should start at?
Yes, yeah. So it's actually yes and no. Yeah. So you can actually begin it when you are starting a business, mm-hmm. or you can do that as we go along.
Okay.
So we do it first when we are actually starting the business because it will actually help you to actually have that long-term view. Okay, that for example, you know that when you are now starting this nature of business, what do I need to do or achieve in the next 1 to 5 years? Mm-hmm. Okay, mm-hmm. And then of course the other side of it will be that we can also be able to do it while we go along.
Okay.
One, because the business environment will actually change very fast. Mm-hmm. A good example is actually what, for example, in the 2020, 2021, when we had the pandemic,
okay.
Of course, it actually changed so much.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And then, of course, like for example, in this year, when we have so much changes in the regulatory environment, mm-hmm. we need taxes and all that, of course, then you as a business person need to actually adjust. Mm-hmm. So yes, so to your own question, yes, we can do it as we start, or we do it as we go along.
Okay, what's the difference when I start? Is the strategy supposed to be as concrete as possible at the beginning? Mm-hmm. Or when do I begin to now concretize and decide this is the direction that I really want my business to take? Mm-hmm. Considering also that statistics tell us that the first 3 years are normally the most crucial years of a business for you to be able to tell whether this business will last, because a lot of people then end up folding.
Yes.
So when do I concretize the strategy for a business?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and of course when we begin that business, so it will actually be good for me or for you or any other business person to actually be able to actually say that what exactly do I want?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And of course, and you may not be able to actually have everything very concrete because mm-hmm. one, we live in a very fluid environment. Mm-hmm. Of course, for example, if you are in a business, for example, that you deal with imports, mm-hmm. of course, maybe you had actually planned ahead that for example, this will actually be my whole earnings and all that, and this will be my price too. But then, what do we see at the moment? Mm-hmm. There's so much. There is so much. We have the change that is actually depreciating at the very fast rate. Mm-hmm. Okay, mm-hmm. So then it actually affects even your own strategy that you actually had at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yes, and of course the first few years will actually be extremely very fluid because you are not sure exactly what will come. Just the same way that we don't know about what tomorrow holds, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So then in that case, yes, so then what I will say is that it's actually good for us to actually be able to actually build our strategies the best way that we know how, mm-hmm. but then be very open to adapt as we go along, mm-hmm. because things change and things come along. Mm-hmm. And of course, just like as we say that the first 1,000 years in a business are actually very crucial. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They actually make you can actually survive or not, and that's why in Kenya, so many business, there's actually so many. There are so many enterprises that will actually close mm-hmm. actually by their third year. Mm-hmm. Okay, mm-hmm. And that's why. Then you need to be able to seek the help of a consultant mm-hmm. and say, for example, the help of a service provider that will be able to actually help you to be able to overcome all those challenges. Mm-hmm. Either because sometimes you, as a business person, you want to do a strategy, mm-hmm. but you don't know even how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, because you don't know the dynamics and all that. And that's why then it's best for you then to do what? Seek the services of a professional mm-hmm. to be able to help you to be able to actually build one mm-hmm. and actually concretize one.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you are at Peak Insights, you're also pretty much an entrepreneur in that space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what kind of help do I need? Is it just financial? Is it laying out the plan? Is it how to deal with the suppliers? Mm-hmm. Is it how to manage competition? What kind of help, what kind of consultancy assistance do you come in to help at mm-hmm. Peak Insights?
Yes. Yes, so we have two major areas there. So we have the financial advisory and we have the strategic consulting. Yeah.
Okay.
So then when we talk about strategic consulting, here we talk about so here we actually help you to actually be able to actually build a strategy from scratch. Okay. Or if you have one, we actually help you to actually do your annual reviews. Because we know that in business, just like as I've said before, it's actually very fluid. Okay. So then we actually need to actually review our strategy that are they in line with the changing times. Okay. Or for example, now we are in the age of artificial intelligence. Okay. Is that this strategy that we set 5 years ago, before this AI came in, is it still valid?
Still valid,
or
yes.
not? Yeah. Also, the other thing also that we help you as well also under strategic consulting is that so we also help you to also be able to actually do your own internal controls. Internal controls in a business are actually extremely important. One, because they actually provide the controls and the safeguards for that business to actually be able to succeed. Okay. And the other thing also that we do also under strategic consulting is that so we also help you, for example, that you maybe want to venture into a new market or maybe a new product. Okay. So we help you to actually be able to do a feasibility study to then be able to actually determine that this thing that I actually want to actually enter into, is it profitable? What are the yields? How long will it take for me to actually recoup all my investment and all that? What will it cost in terms of the financial investment, in terms of the manpower, in terms of the talent and all that? Okay. And then, of course, the other thing also that we also do under strategic consulting is that we also offer short-term executive support to business as well.
Okay.
For example, you as Melissa, maybe you have a business, but then maybe you actually don't have a CEO role, or maybe you see that if you actually need to actually hire one, it may take you time, or two, it will actually be too expensive. So then you can actually hire us for that short term.
Okay.
And then, of course, then we go back to the financial advisories that so we actually help you in actually two key ways. First, to be able to actually build your own financial model, helping you, for example, to actually be able to know how is your business. Okay, is it optimal? Okay, how best can it be actually operating? What are the returns on your assets, on your own investments, and all that? And of course, the other key thing also that we also provide there is we also help you as a business to actually be able to do to be able to provide advice on tax.
Okay.
And of course, tax is actually extremely very complex. So we also help you as well to also be able to actually also outsource accountants as well. Yes.
So what are the trends this year? Because a lot of our cries as business people this year has been, the high rate of operating business has been difficult because of the devalued shilling and the cost of commodities just going really up. What are we projecting into 2024? And talk to us as a business person. What should I, as a business person, anticipate into the year? What are some of the controls I should have in place to cushion me if I want to continue with my business into 2024?
Yes, and of course, and of course we actually all accept that there are actually so many challenges in actually running a business. But in the midst of all that, there are also opportunities. Okay, and that's why, for example, especially if you're dealing with imports, of course, the issue of the dollar and all that. Of course, even if you're here, of course, the issue of the cost of living is also a key issue as well.
Yes.
Okay. And so for us, we will actually advise that. So we actually just need to be able to look at what costs do we actually need to actually eliminate. Because in every business, there are actually so many wastages. Yeah. Either in duplication of roles. Okay. So we have that, or maybe a process in serving the customer are actually too long. That we have so many touch points which are actually not necessary at all. Or maybe when we are serving a customer, we are using so much paperwork, which we can actually easily avoid and maybe go digital. Okay, that way will actually help us to actually be able to actually save on cost. Yeah, and then of course that the other side of the coin will then be how then do we drive revenue? Okay, do we need to, for example, to pivot, enter
Yeah.
maybe a new market, add maybe new products, okay? Or maybe do we need, for example, to drop some products that we are doing and only focus on a few that we have real strength in, okay? Or maybe the other thing as well will actually be how best do we aggressively grow the business, for example, maybe aggressive marketing. Now we go to social media and all that. How else do we be able to go? Maybe like build partnerships and all that to actually be able to actually scale. So there are actually so many ways. Either grow the revenue, and which I've said on those few examples, or be able to cut on cost. And in most cases, maybe do both. Because what I can be able to actually tell my fellow entrepreneurs is that there's actually so many opportunities. Okay, so yes, there's so much chaos and all that. There's so much challenges, but in the midst of all that, what opportunities are actually emerging, which were not there before. Yeah, and that's why for me, I see the new year, this coming year will actually present itself, will actually present new opportunities, which every entrepreneur should actually be able to actually take advantage of. Yeah, and of course the globalization, and all that. Even locally, we have the expanded East Africa community now to DRC, to Somalia and all that. So we can actually be able to see several ways on actually how we are able to actually expand our businesses. Yes.
How, maybe as a last wrap-up question is, how do we compare to the region? How is the Kenyan business landscape different perhaps to the East African regional business landscape? Are you able to give us a comparative analysis of how we're doing? How are we doing as a country?
And of course that has been a major debate even these past few months. Of course, about the issue of taxation. Like so many businesses have been thinking about what is happening in maybe Tanzania, maybe Uganda and all that. So that being said, I still believe that Kenya still presents the best opportunities for doing business. First, we must all appreciate that, for example, that we live in a very democratic country, which of course is actually, I think, much better than what our neighbors have. And that being said, yes, of course, yes, we have these few challenges, of course, of the devaluation of the
devaluation.
To the depreciation of the currency. And all that, and the price of doing business and all that. So, but I still believe that all that being said, that still Kenya presents a better opportunity. One, because we have a big market in terms of like the number of consumers. So we have very aggressive people. We have a high level of talent in Kenya as compared to the region. And therefore, so even in terms of even infrastructure, access to the internet, raw network and all that. So I still believe that Kenya still presents a better opportunity, and that's why I'll still be able to do this business here, even if I was to redo it again.
Okay. So for you, let me ask for your parting shot at Peak Insights. There are those business people who kind of will shy away from even seeking for consultancy services. They're like, maybe I can figure this out. I can navigate this the way I can. What would be your advice as a CEO at Peak Insights? And some of the services that you're offering are very key for, especially taxation. Those we want to navigate that terrain nicely. What would you advise a business person and in terms of seeking for consultancy services? Well, maybe I'll answer it this way. So, and of course, for example, if someone you love, maybe today has been found maybe to have a brain tumor, do you go to the internet to search for the cheapest doctor, or do you go to search for the best? And of course, the answer will actually be the best, isn't it? And of course, most entrepreneurs try to actually do it on their own, to be able, for example, to be able to do their own strategies, which most of the time they are not doing right because they are not professionally in that field, or maybe they want to do their own taxes, or maybe they want to do their own bookkeeping and all that, but they are not professionally in that field, So my advice will actually be, just like in the example that I've actually given, it doesn't matter how many times you Google, for example, that there's this tumor. You still need to go to a doctor to be able to help you and actually treat you and actually diagnose you. And in the same way, so I'll really encourage businesses to actually be able to seek the services of a professional, because one, it will actually become cheaper in the long run.
And a good example will actually be and I think we've actually seen, all of us have seen this in the news, whereby we have houses that are actually falling down in in Kikuyu or maybe in Umoja and all that, because businessman decided to maybe save some 2 million shillings in actually to actually not hire maybe an engineer. But then, what is the result? That you're actually losing much more, maybe even 100 million, but you're actually trying to actually save 2 million. So I will actually encourage all entrepreneurs to actually be able to seek the services of a professional to actually be able to help you walk that journey with you. And that's why we at Pick Insights, we actually come in, help you to actually walk every step of the way to be able to help you do your own strategies, help you in terms of tax and all financial modeling and all that. And of course, so you can actually be able to actually check us out.
Okay. Thank you for your time so much, Mr. Nixon Yebei,
Yes.
from Pick Insight, the CEO right there. Okay. So thank you for having joined us on this bulletin. My name is Melissa Odor. Boniface Mureithi has been helping us with the sign language. Until next time, have a good night.
Asante sana.